Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this Wednesday's midweek reset yoga with me, Anna, your self-care doula, here at 63 Washington Street at the Landing in Weymouth. We don't have anybody in studio but Stan behind the camera, so thank you, Stan. And actually, my son is here, so he might be doing a little yoga in the back. So let's see, special events. We have an event this evening called the Inner Harmony, a Sound and Movement Journey, which sounds awesome. Matt, thank you for facilitating that. That begins at, doors open at 6:30. And I'm sure that it will promptly start at 7. So if you can RSVP for the event, that would greatly be appreciated so we can know you're coming. Wow, that sounds like an awesome event. So come down. If you are not watching this or can catch this later on YouTube, you're very welcome to, and slow flow reset with me at your convenience on your timeline, being that we're probably most of us doing our thing during the day. So give yourself a little slow down moment in the evening with me, and so that you can finish your week strong. So I'm bouncing back from being away for a few days, so getting into a little camping and outdoorsy out in Maine. So I'm very excited that I got to spend some time out in the nature, grounding. So sometimes when, I often talk about frequency, and everything is frequency, and there's always buzzing around us, whether it's our electronics, what we're surrounded by, TVs, computers, phones, microwaves, all of that stuff has frequency and energy. And sometimes, and a lot of the times, it's good to step away from all that stuff. So if you have a phone near you where you sleep, your computer, always good to create a little sleep hygiene is what it's called, which is very, very important, because that's where we increase our frequency by resting our bodies and integrating all that we've done during the day, or even days. So sleep is very important. So on that note, let's raise the frequency here by moving our bodies and using our breath to tune in, ground in, and lift our frequency with our emotions. So wherever you are, whether it's seated or lying down, I'm going to stay seated, but you choose what you would like to feel comfortable in your body so you can ground. And remember, do what feels good in your body, never pushing to any point of pain, and exploring how your body feels, going in a way where you're asking yourself how you feel, but then also, which is working the emotional body, but also working the physical body, just kind of feeling out how your joints feel, how your muscles are feeling, if you're feeling at ease or any tension. So I invite you to soften your gaze or close your eyes. Hands can be anywhere that's comfortable for you. And we begin to breathe together, feeling that breath come in through the nose and out the nose. And making those inhales nice and long and slow, and slowing down the exhales with intention of slowing yourself down. Life is moving pretty fast, so this gives us the opportunity to completely slow down, stop what we're doing, and repace ourselves. If it helps to count to 4 as you inhale and count to 4 as you exhale, I invite you to do that as you create a pattern of breath flowing in and flowing out at the count of 4 and 4. And just noticing your mind begin to slow down And of course, if any distracting thoughts come in or you open your eyes and become distracted, just resettle the gaze and come back to your breath. Begin to feel the shoulders soften and the hips soften, letting your entire body feel heavy. Begin to notice your thoughts slow down. And then let's come into our heart space, noticing our heart, its presence, and connecting to it. Noticing its heartbeat. Noticing where it lies in your heart space, in your chest area. Notice the lungs surrounding it as you breathe in. Notice the rib cage as it protects the heart. And notice the front, the sides, and the back side as you take that next breath to expand the chest. Feeling the expansion on the back side, the sides, and the front. And as you exhale, letting it all gently fall. And then asking yourself, how are you feeling today? And acknowledging and validating how you feel. Whether you feel good or not feeling well, just acknowledging and giving yourself the love and support for your self-care and showing up for yourselves today. Allow yourself to feel that sense of presence and grounding. Knowing you are here, surrounded by love. And through this love, we set our intentions, remembering that it's intentions that drive our actions. And it's these intentions we carry with us once we leave this space or leave where you are and take it with you. Your intentions are always with you. Feel nice and tall in your body. Notice as you have been here for just a few minutes if anything is getting uncomfortable. And if it feels good to shift, go ahead and shift. Then come back to your intention and step inside that intentional space. And then beginning to bring awareness back into the body, releasing the hands if you've shifted them in any way, and beginning to slowly move parts of your bodies, maybe rolling the shoulders or swaying the body. And when you're ready and comfortable to flutter the eyes open, you can. Let's circle the body. Both directions. And let's come to center. Let's release the hands by our side and extend, walking the fingers away. Flip the palms. Inhale, nice deep breath in as the arms come up. Exhale, flip the palms and lower the arms down. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, float them down. Ground that left palm. Inhale that right arm over. One more breath. And on the exhale, switch sides. Left arm comes up and over. Take another breath. And slowly lower that arm from here. Let's bring those legs up and extend them forward. Let's gently take the hands to the tops of the thighs and slide the hands down and take a little forward fold here. Slide the hands back up, and I'll just shift while you're in the same position and slide the hands down. Take a nice deep breath and lengthen through the crown and take a little hinge forward. Nothing too deep, just a little forward and a hinge at the hips. And you can even wiggle side to side just to notice how that feels. Notice if there's any tightness on one side more than the other. Slide the hands back up. Lengthen through the crown. You can flex the feet and gently slide the hands back down. And you can point the feet if you'd like. Slide them back up and then slide them on the outsides, creating a little pressure on the outsides. And then let's bring the hands to the tops of the knees in little circles, creating a little warmth around the knees and just using our own energy to give our joints some love. And then if it feels good, bring the circles to the sides of the hips here. Just using the warmth of your hands. And then adding a little variation if you want to bring it in and out and release. Okay, so let's take our hands behind us to support our bodies, bend the knees, and we'll take the knees to one side and then the other, a little windshield wiper side to side. And then come back to center. And from here, let's swing the legs around and come to a tabletop position. Let's stack the shoulders over the wrists, spread the fingers nice and wide so you have a nice grip. And then hips stack over the knees. Take a peek between the knees so that you can remove any angle of the feet and hide the feet behind the knees. On the inhale, we're going to drop the abdomen down, tilt the tail, and take the gaze up to the sky, extending. And then on the exhale, we're going to either find a neutral spine or we're going to tuck in and gently round. So if you have any injuries in the back, inhale, extend. You want to be very mindful of how you're moving your spine, whether there's osteoporosis or an injury. You want to come to a neutral position, or if it's all good, no injuries or anything, you can gently tuck the chin and gently round. Find your pace, inhaling and extending. Exhale, gently finding neutral spine or rounding in. Take your time with your breath. The movement should be as long as at least a 4-second inhale and a 4-second exhale. Notice if in your movements you're hearing some cracks and adjustments of the spine. That's all good. Unless there's pain, then you want to back off any of that kind of movement that might be irritating or annoying the spine. So take your time and sense here what you feel as we warm up the spine. And then finding neutral spine. Let's come into a child's pose. Let's walk the hands forward a little bit. Your options here are to either take knees together and shift back into a child's pose, or if you want to create space for the body, take the knees to the width of the mat. Just take them wide, let the toes touch, and then shift the hips back. And if they don't fall all the way back, that's okay. Go as far as you're comfortable. And then melt the heart towards the mat, maybe grounding your third eye. You can even rest your hands one on top of the other so the third eye can rest on the hands. And what we're doing here is sensing the hip joints, resting the head, allowing the shoulders and the neck to follow, and taking some nice deep breaths. As you inhale, feel the abdomen expand, the back of the rib cage. As you exhale, feel everything soften. Let's bring hands into prayer position and walk them a little forward. Bend at the elbows, bring prayer hands behind the head, neck, or shoulders. And then walk the elbows forward a little bit so you can feel the hip shift back and then feel those tricep muscles. Gently releasing and walking, lifting the gaze and walking your hands back towards the knees. Bring the knees back to center. Shift the hips to one side. Extend that right leg and bring the left sole of the foot into the inner right thigh. Take a nice deep breath in and let's lengthen the arms up. Turn the body towards that right thigh and reach for that right foot. So wherever the hands land is okay. Allow the spine to lengthen. Take a nice deep breath and feel yourself lift and then hinge forward, taking a little forward fold over your right thigh. So you can reach for the outsides of the foot here or wherever the hands land. If you have a grasp of the foot, take a nice deep breath in and lengthen. And exhale, forward fold again, flexing the foot. Little lowering of that left shoulder down. And then inhale, release, bring those arms back up. And then lower them down. Reach for the outside of the foot, or you can peace finger your toe or the outside of the leg. And then we're going to inhale that left arm up and over. So if you want to reach all the way over, go ahead. And then you're just going to gently turn the rib cage a little forward. Again, you don't have to reach or grab anything, just a gentle lengthening of that left side body. So notice how I'm gently reaching, and then find your stillness. Gently lift that left arm back up and come back to seated position. Inhale, arms come up and gently lower. Release. You're in a wide-legged stretch here. And then we're going to walk the hands forward and just go as far as it's comfortable. Again, lengthening through the crown, hinging at the hips, flexion of the feet if that's accessible, and a little walking of those hands forward. Again, you can bounce a little bit to just get into the abductors. Press the heels out and then walk the hands back. From here, that right foot goes into the inner left thigh. So now we have a nice 90-degree angle, and we can adjust as needed. Take a nice deep breath. Arms come up, turn towards that left thigh and reach for the foot or for the shin, for the outsides of the leg, wherever the hands land. Take a nice deep breath in to lengthen through the crown and take a hinge. Drop that right shoulder down. And remember, each side is going to feel different or not. You know, maybe one side will feel a little looser than the other. Maybe you'll have to breathe into one side a little bit more than the other. And you don't have to go as deep as I'm going. Just hinge at the hips wherever it feels good to you, where you're starting to feel that stretch. From here, you can leave that left hand on the outside of that left foot. So actually, let's readjust here. Bring the arms up, turn to the side, and then reach that left arm for the outside of the foot, or you can peace finger the toe, or just reach for the outside, wherever the hands land. Nice deep breath in as you lengthen and reach over with that right arm. Again, you don't have to reach, but you can if you would like, and then turn that rib cage, that left rib cage up a little bit, rotating it up towards the sky. That'll also change the reach. So right now I'm kind of inward. As I go outward, my reach will come apart, and then float that arm down, float both arms, releasing, bring both arms up, and exhale, lower. Extend that right leg so you're back in that wide-legged stretch. Take a nice deep breath in, arms parallel to the head. Flip the palms forward and let the palms land in front of you. Wherever they land, see if you can pull the mat towards you without, so that you feel like you're really gripping, lengthening the crown, and then take a hinge forward. Option here, you can reach for the outsides of the feet. You can also peace finger your toes. You can even reach for the inside, just to get that little abductor stretch a little bit more. So you can play with the grasp. From here, let's gently come back up. Bring the legs back. Windshield wiper side to side. And then let's swing the legs around, coming back to our tabletop position. All right, let's create circles. Circle the body around and around. Both directions. And then tuck the toes. Gently shift the hips back towards the heels, creating a nice little stretch in the feet. And then shift forward. From here, lengthen right leg. Point the toes down, bend the knees, and rotate that hip. About 3 on each side. And remember to breathe. Use your breath. Lengthen once again. Let's come into extended tabletop. Shift the hips towards the mat, squaring the hips off. You can point. I like to flex my foot and press through the heel, but that's just me. So you can test out what it feels like to lengthen with a point, or maybe you need that flexion. Extend that left arm forward when you're ready. Pull the navel in, lengthen in opposite directions, and then bring everything back to your tabletop. Realign, shift the hips back and forth, side to side, maybe some circles in between. And come back to center, lengthen that left leg, bend the knee, and rotate the hip. Both directions. Small or large circles, whatever feels good to your hips. Go slow. So notice if there's any discomfort, just kind of moving around that, and then lengthen the leg. Again, playing with that flexion or point, and extend that right arm forward, lengthen in opposite directions, pull navel in and breathe. Just gazing at the top of your mat. And bring everything back. Shift side, side. Circle. Tuck toes under. Let's lift the knees. Take a little hover. One more breath. And on the exhale, lift the hips. Come into your downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in and out. Parallel the feet. Gently begin to walk your dog if you'd like. Or just adjust here, pressing the heart towards the thighs. Chin is untucked as you gaze between the ankles. And when you're ready, walk it out. Pressing heart towards the thighs. Taking nice deep breaths and maybe a ha out the mouth. All right, let's walk the feet to meet the hands, forward fold at the top of your mat. Let's ragdoll here. Let the upper body feel heavy. A little sway of the body. You can grab elbow to elbow if you'd like. A little bounce. A little sway. And you can release the arms. Release the jaw. Shake the head no. Shake the head yes. On the next breath, we press through the feet and begin to rise gently, slowly. And then extend the arms out as you begin to stand. Arms come up. Palms touch, and then bring those palms behind you. So prayer hands behind the head, neck, or shoulders. Nice deep breaths. Inhale, reach those palms up, flip the palms, reach behind you this time, interlace the fingers. So if that's too intense, just let the arms go a little bit, and then redo the inhale, reach behind you, interlace the fingers. Pull the quads up, legs are nice and strong, reach those shoulders back and down, gazing forward, and then you take the gaze up as you reach those wrists down towards the heels. Inhale, begin to gently lift and bend the knees, and we'll take a little forward fold. So if this is uncomfortable, you don't have to bring your hands behind your back. Just go as far as you're comfortable. Inhale, press through the feet, come all the way back up. Take the gaze up, strength through the legs, release the arms. A nice deep breath in and exhale. Let's roll the shoulders. Back and forward. And then come into mountain pose. Let's realign the body, really pulling up on those quads. Feet are about parallel to each other, about hip distance apart or together, all up to you. An exploration of the feet. Pull navel in and up, and shoulders rise to the ears as you roll them back and down. Reach towards the earth, crown of the head towards the sky. Inhale, arms come up. Let the palms touch and gently reach back. Let's swan dive down for a forward fold. Nice straight spine down. And then once you're down there, you can bend one knee and then the other. Take a nice deep breath in as you place the hands on the shins, lengthen through the crown. Another breath, lengthening And exhaling, another breath, pull navel in, draw shoulders back, exhale, forward fold, plant the palms, right foot steps back, and let's take a lunge here. So you can bring blocks here to support. Let's stack that right knee over the ankle. I'm going to tuck my back toes in and lift that back knee, and I can lengthen that right leg so you're not leaning forward this way. You're just stacking that knee over the ankle and then creating a little deeper lunge by lengthening that opposite leg, the right leg back. Again, you can use blocks to support your lunge. And then drop the knee and then take that left hand to the inside of the knee and then gently press it out. And then come back to center. Let's extend the leg and shift the hips back towards the back of the mat. Take a half split and take a bow. Come back to center. Lift that back knee, and then you're going to step it forward. Ready? Nice deep breath in. And exhale. Forward fold. Inhale, roll up. Extend the arms out and up. Palms touch. Pull those quads up. Palms come to heart. Bring in that love. Inhale, reach back up. Gently reach back, pulling up on those quads. Let's swan dive down for our forward fold. And then plant the palms and left foot steps back. Let's take our lunge. So notice how my knee wants to go forward. I'm intentionally stacking that knee over the ankle. Again, to take the lunge, you can lift that back leg and lengthen. So I'm just wiggling my toes back and then gaze forward, and there's your lunge. If you're saying, that's easy for you to say, Anna, do what works for you. Do what feels comfortable. You can do this with your knee down. So again, do what's comfortable for you. I'm just guiding your movement, but you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to lift that knee again, gaze forward. And you're really feeling that in the hip joints. Now let's lower the knee if you've lifted it and take that right hand to the inside of that right knee and then gently press it to the right side. Just gentle press, so a little wide. Again, you can raise the floor by taking a block and just creating a little bit of height there as you take that stretch for the hip. And then slowly come back. Extend back to take a half split and take a bow. Lengthen that right hip back. And then you can play with the movement of the foot and notice how that changes the stretch in the hamstring. You can shift the hips back a little bit. Find that sweet spot. All right. Let's bracket that front foot. Tuck toes and lift that back knee. And we're going to round the low back so we can this time step it back and drop the knees. Take a nice dip of the hips back towards the heels and lengthen the arms. Nice deep breath in. Let's sweep forward and take an up dog. So up dogs, you can definitely leave those knees down and grounded and sweep the heart forward and up. Then let's tuck the toes and lift the knees, gaze forward so you can press into your down dog. Nice deep breaths, pressing the heart towards the thighs. Exhale through the mouth if that feels good. And gently walk it out. Let's walk feet to meet the hands. Back at the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, roll up slowly. Extend the arms up. Pull those quads up, palms touch, and palms come to heart. Inhale, reach up. Gently reach back. Flip the palms and reach behind you. Gaze forward, interlace the fingers. Reach those shoulders back and down. Bend the knees and we'll take a little forward fold here. Press through the feet, slowly come back up. Release and extend. And then let's come into a chair position. Let's bring the hands to heart. Shift the weight to the heels. Sit a little lower. The heart is nice and lifted. And then we're going to extend those prayer hands forward. Open up to the right side. Following the palm. And then bring that arm back. Let's do it on the left side. Follow the palm. And then bring that palm back. Hands come to heart. Let's forward fold. Hands on the shins. Take a half lift here. Pull the navel in, lengthen through the crown, and tilt the tail. Tilting the tail up really changes the stretch. Lengthen through the crown again. Draw those shoulders back. Another deep breath in. And on the exhale, forward fold. Plant the palms. Right foot's going to step back. This time, that right knee is going to come down. And we're going to take a little lizard pose. So we'll heel toe that left foot to the edge of the mat. And this is where you can bring your blocks in for support again. Stacking them and creating a little table so that you can deepen the stretch in the hip. Otherwise, you can just stay right here and you can take that foot to its outer edge. And breathe. If you want to go deeper, notice how I'm tucking the toes and lifting the knee so I can pull that leg back a little bit more. So do what's comfortable for you. Three to 5 breaths here. And then we begin to bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And if it feels good to you, heel toe that foot back. And we're going to bend that back knee and lift that leg up. Let's reach that left arm forward, and you can take a reach back if you'd like. You can catch the foot if you'd like, or just reach. Release, reaching and extending forward, and lower that arm back. A little shift back to just reset those hips. Bracket that front foot. Lift that back knee and step it back. Drop the knees. Shift the hips back. Sweep it forward, take an up dog. Press to your down dog. And walk it out. Press the hips. Bend one knee after the other. Press the heart towards the thighs. Really like moving those hips a little bit. And then let's walk feet to meet hands, forward fold, top of the mat. Begin to roll up. Extend the arms up. Let the palms touch, bring them to heart, and let's sit in our chair. Shift the hips back towards the heels, stay nice and lifted. Sit a little lower, extend those arms forward. This time we'll begin on the left side. Open up that left arm, follow the palm, and then bring it back. Shift weight towards the heels, and then let's do the right side. And then bring it back. Hands to heart and forward fold. Awesome. Bend one knee after the other. Plant the palms, lift footsteps back, and drop that back knee. All right, so let's bring that right hand to the instep of that right foot, heel toe the foot to the outer edge. And then we come into our lizard. So find your comfort here as much as you can. And comfort doesn't mean that there isn't any effort into it. There definitely is a little bit of effort in this position, all positions that you're doing. Find where you feel comfortable, maybe taking the foot to its outer edge. Notice maybe as you settle into the stretch, you might be able to lower a little bit more. So these blocks are 4 inches, and I think they're about 8 inches long. So 4 inches wide, 8 inches long. And I like this width personally more so than the 3-inch blocks, just because they're just have a nice hold to them. So if you're looking for blocks, I highly suggest the wider ones. And I'm not a big fan of the cork ones. If you guys have cork ones or have seen them, to me they're a little bit on the heavier side. So I like these. I got these on Amazon. I'm buying less and less on Amazon, but other places have them. I think you could even find them, well, you can find them almost anywhere these days. All right, so let's begin to slowly come out of this. I'm gonna set the blocks aside. And gently lifting yourself up, heel toe that foot back to center. And then we're gonna reach for that left foot. So stay nice and lifted. We're going to bend that knee up, reach forward with that right arm and reach back. You can take the gaze over the shoulder or gaze forward and then release. Bring everything back. A little shift back to reset those hips. And then bracket that front foot. Lift that back knee and we step it back, drop the knees, shift the hips back. And this time we're back into a tabletop position. Let's cat-cow here a little bit. Coming back into that curvature of the spine or find your neutral spine. So remember what feels good to you. And let's thread the needle here. So we're going to flow about 3 times. On that 3rd time, we're going to drop the shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in and lift that right arm up to the sky. Exhale, weave it through underneath that left arm. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale, weave it through. Inhale, reach back up. And exhale, weave it through. Drop that right shoulder down and rest your head on its right side. Extend that left arm. So I had a student ask me today, am I supposed to be resting on the shoulder because my shoulder isn't reaching the floor, which is okay. So I told her to bring a block in. If the shoulder isn't reaching the floor, give it a platform. You can even do this and just gently rest this way or lower it depending on where the shoulder's landing, and then bring another block or support to rest the head on. So that would be, this is her new position so that she can begin to rest on the shoulder and open up the back of the shoulder a little bit more. So I'm just going to remove the blocks, just a demonstration there. And give yourself a few breaths here, and then I'd like to give about 3 breaths per movement or so, and then if you want to bring that left arm behind you to open up the front of that left shoulder, you can. And then slowly release. Extend the arm forward and shift the hips back a little bit, and then walk the hand, that left hand, underneath that left shoulder. Release that right arm, reach back up to the sky, and float it back down to your tabletop. Reposition your body, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, hips over knees. And we do left side. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, weave through. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, weave through. One more reach. And exhale, weave it through. Drop that left shoulder down. Rest your head on its left side and walk that right arm forward. Shift the hips back gently. And breathe. Again, if you want to take that right arm behind you, you can. Slowly releasing that right arm. Rotate it forward. Lengthen the arm and shift the hips back. And then walk that right hand underneath that right shoulder to gently lift yourself back up. Reaching up with that left arm and lowering it back down. Reset, realign your tabletop position. Maybe a cat-cow in between if that feels good, or circling of the hips. And then when you're ready, walking the hands back towards the knees. Knees come together so you can shift the hips to one side and swing the legs around. Extend the legs forward. And let's windshield wiper side to side. All right, let's take the knees all the way over to the right side. So go ahead and follow the body, and on the inhale, reach over with that left arm. And then lower down. Catch yourself so you can come back to center. Reposition yourself. Take the knees all the way to the left side, and that right arm is going to scoop over. So you can do it back, just depending on how you're feeling, or just to the side. And then lower back down, come back to center, and then let's lower down to the mat. Meet me on your back and knees to chest. You can squeeze in, and if you want to take a full body stretch in between, you can. Meet me here. Rock side to side, and then hands on the knees, create circles, massaging the low back. Let's take the legs back to center and bring the legs up to the sky. Little flexion of the feet, a point and rotation of the ankles if you'd like, or find your stillness. Arms by your side or anywhere that it feels comfortable to you. Let's give ourselves double the breath here. So 3 more breaths. Last breath. And then begin to bend the knees a little bit more. Cycle the legs both directions. And then lower the feet back down to the mat. Take the arms over the head, maybe in a cactus position or just relaxed over your head. And then take the knees to the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Take the knees to the left side. And then take the arms to a full T position, shoulder height. And we're going to float those knees to the right side again. This time we take the gaze to the left side. If it's comfortable for you, you can take that right ankle on top of the left thigh, and that will deepen the stretch. So the weight of the leg will deepen the twist. So if that doesn't feel good, just leave the knees to one side. If you want it a little deeper, let that right leg weigh on the left. Another breath, and then slowly releasing the legs. If you've layered them, come back to center, float the knees to the opposite side, take the gaze to the right side, and then maybe that ankle weighs on top of the right leg. And then slowly coming back to center, turning the head back to center, releasing the legs and bringing the legs back to center, windshield wiper side to side. Just to reset, lengthen the legs, take a full body stretch, arms over the head. Reach in opposite directions and then reach for right knee to chest. Drop the shoulders down, a slight tuck of the chin, lengthen through that left leg, flex both feet. And then take that right knee to the right shoulder. Bring it back to center and release. Full body stretch. Reach left knee to chest. Squeeze in, lengthen through that right leg, flex both feet. And then take that knee to the left shoulder. Coming back to center, release and lengthen. Full body stretch. Arms by your side, legs up to the sky. And if you'd like, you can bring the hands underneath the hips here just to support the lower half of the body. And taking the legs up. You can also use a block to rest your sacrum on a block. It's supported legs up the wall in this position. So you can also put a pillow underneath. A little firmer pillow would be good for this too. If it's too soft of a pillow, the weight will definitely just sink in, but do what works for you. I'm going to release here. Take the legs down, and then arms by your side. Wow, time flies. All right, from here, little hip rotations forward and back, like we do. A little forward and arching the spine. And then 3 lifts on the inhale. Let's lift the hips up, arms over the head. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Arms over the head. And exhale, lower the hips down, arms come down. Let's do one more. And lower. So any last movements that you would like to make, let's take a full body stretch here. You can bring knees into chest and rock it out. Knee circles. And then find yourself in your resting pose, Shavasana. Arms by your side or anywhere that feels comfortable to you. I love flipping the palms over to open up the chest, and you can tuck the shoulders underneath the body. Let the toes fall open. And deepen the breath. Legs can be any way that's comfortable for you. Same with the arms. Allow the body to rest and feel heavy. Allow the mind to feel light through the breath. If you need to shift at all, please feel free to do so. And then come back to the earth. Let her feel the heaviness of your body and let her support you. So remember, you can stay here for as long as you'd like, even falling asleep, or you're very welcome to begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers and begin to shift and maybe take a full body stretch. Knees into chest, and we roll over to our right side, walking ourselves back up to seated position. So give yourself a little rest in that fetal position for a little while. You don't have to get up at all right away. And just allow the body to settle wherever you are if you've moved. This is for you, made for you, at your pace, at your time. Let's seal class together today with hands at the heart center. And let's remember to bring prayer hands to the third eye to remind us to think kindly and compassionately. With a deep breath in between, let's take our hands to our lips to remind us to speak with kindness and compassion. And with another breath, bringing our hands to heart to remind us to live in higher frequency through the elevated emotions of love, joy, and gratitude that create lots of inner wisdom that require lots of courage and lots of grace. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank